the duck dish.
Did you call it the duck dish? That's why I did.
It was called. It was
If I went to a restaurant and I saw,
But to be quite honest with you, I would buy it if it said the duck dish.
look, honey, I want the duck dish.
the duck dish.
Restaurant Punk, what's up?
Restaurant Punk. What's up, boys?
RP. What's going on?
Wait. Have we done an episode with the three of us yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, Nico. Really?
I'm thinking.
Was that sarcasm?
I'm trying to think. What was the last time we did it then?
I did it, Kissy.
What was the last time we had an episode with the three of us?
I don't know, but you know what this is, right? Episode 99.
Well,
I don't know.
For our audience, we're shooting episode 99,
Correct.
but there's been some confusion because we'll say what episode we're on, but technically, we're on a
But
different
technically, we
episode.
mismatch them.
Sorry for the confusion, guys. We love you.
All apologies.
So, at the end of the day, Nikos, Peter, I'm Yianni, Restaurant Punk.
What's going on?
What do we got? You got anything? I got something. You got something? I got something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Peter's got something.
You got something.
Ready?
Why are you having a
Rock,
piece of
paper,
that?
scissors. Peter.
Is that what you're doing?
Rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Fucker.
You're out.
It's between you
Bye,
two.
Nico. All right, Pete, I'll give it to you. You're the younger brother.
All right,
Go
deal.
ahead.
So sweet.
So over the course of the past, 12 years, we've made, I don't know, how many menus? Lots of them, right?
Over all the
couple,
restaurants?
yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, yeah.
Of course. Absolutely.
And sometimes a dish gets on there that isn't so popular.
Yes.
Okay.
It goes on the menu. I remember the one dish I made on one menu, the duck dish.
Did you call it the duck dish? That's
It
why I
was,
did
it was called. It was
If I went to a restaurant and I saw,
But to be quite honest with you, I would buy it if it said the duck
oh,
dish.
look, honey, I want the duck dish.
the duck dish. Duck breast FYB
Oh,
with the
man,
citrus
loved it.
vinaigrette, whatever.
Oh, I like that.
Pete, that was
And,
one of your best creations.
But I never made it. I wrote it down. Everything got shipped out late. I got the delivery day of 3 p.m. It was not ready till 5:15. When the first table sat at 5, they ordered the duck dish. I took the first bite of it. I'm like, this sucks. Nico took a bite of it. He's like, this is the best dish you've ever made. And the table loved it.
Customers loved it. I
And
know.
the customers loved it. I've always hated it. I took it off the menu.
I know. I don't know why.
But sometimes there's dishes that I love that I put on the menu that just don't sell. But I'm stubborn. I'm like, this is good. This has to sell. What do you do?
So the question being, how long do you keep that dish
How long
on
do you
for?
keep it on?
Well,
Is it the customer's choice?
So-
Is it your choice as an owner? How do you?
honestly, if it gets sent back a lot, then you have to either tweak it first to try to make it better. And if you still have to tweak it, doesn't make it better, you got to take it off.
Sent back? I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
I've honestly,
That's bad.
my
That's
that's
first
pretty
year,
harsh. Yeah, I
my
think if I saw something get sent back like 5 times in I don't
I've
know,
had it.
a month,
I've
I'd
had
be like,
a dish
okay,
in one of the
duh.
restaurants, one of the establishments that I thought was great. It was wonderful. It's not something you hear all around. And it kept getting sent back. It kept getting sent back. It kept sent back. It's not that it tasted bad. It just wasn't what people expected and they didn't like it. But a lot. I'm talking about almost every night.
Really?
Something was getting sent back from that
I
particular
know what you're
dish.
talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was a pasta dish.
It was a pasta dish.
Interesting.
And I'm like, this is just horrible. The kitchen's, busy in the back. They keep making and then they have to now make something else. Now the customer's sitting there waiting for a new dish. It could take forever.
Well, I can understand on that point if something keeps getting sent back, but let's say you put it on the menu, never gets sent back, but nobody ever orders it. And when they do order it, they're like, this is delicious.
Right. So what we're saying is if you have, let's say you have 10 entrees,
Yeah.
there's going to be one that sells the most and there's going to be one that sells the least.
Yeah.
Is it always the one that sells the least that you look at it and say, you know what, it's time for this to go?
It has to be in how much on this, like on the scale of how least is being sold. So let's say you're on a scale of 1 to 1,000 and you've sold, 500 of this, 400 of that, 300 of that. If the least is 250, it's still good. If it's like 4, okay, now it's time to get rid of it.
Okay.
Change
So
it up,
really
do
we're looking
something
at
different.
analytics of,
You know what I'm saying?
analytics of the menu and how much physically is
Correct.
actually going out compared to the others.
Correct.
I'll take it a step further. Do you listen to your guests or do you listen to yourself? We were just talking about a dish that Peter ate and said, you know what, this doesn't work. Then Nico ate it and said, this is the best dish I've ever had.
Yeah.
At our restaurant, Shimon, we serve 15 courses nightly and the menu changes nightly. And I like to use the, Peter, remember this, speaking of duck dish, the duck pate.
Oh, the pate.
And
the
I'll
terrine.
bravo.
Yes.
And I'll never forget, I talked to one table and I said, what was your favorite out of 15? Oh, the duck was the greatest. Then I turn around to the person right behind them and I go, hey, what was your favorite? She's like, I'll tell you what my least favorite was, the duck. That pate, terrine, whatever that was the worst thing. So do you listen to your guests or do you listen to yourself?
You can't listen to one guest. and say, that's it, I got to change it. It has to be an accumulation and accumulation and accumulation.
So do we just have to give in because we're being stubborn and we just want that dish to work and we want to
no, not at
make
all.
people? I think that's more of a chef attitude. Like, I'm the chef. I know better than you. You need to learn how to like this. You don't need salt and pepper shake, and I already seasoned it perfectly. And I think that's why, I differentiate between chefs and owners, because they're two completely different mindsets. You're going to love what I give you. You're going to love what I make you because I'm good at what I do. And this is good. And if you don't like it.
But then there are instances, let's say you make something as simple as a crab cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sells and sells and sells.
Mm-hmm.
Some people love it and some people hate it.
Well, according to our experience, who do we always get for the crab cakes? Well, I'm from Maryland.
Yep.
And I'm like,
that's why I said
well,
crab
why
cake.
do you fucking go back there and off? All right. I'm not ordering pizza in Kentucky. I know what I'm going to get. It's not going to be in New York style. All right. It's not going to be what I like.
Pizza in Kentucky?
They got pizza in Kentucky, Nico.
Well, I'm asking if you
We
had
just
pizza in
lost
Kentucky.
all our viewers from Kentucky. Just this second. Our viewers from Kentucky just switched us off, unsubscribed. They're like, what? Restaurant punk.
Well,
I love you, Kentucky. I love your fried chicken.
What I'm trying to say is that's the problem with customers, is because they're always going to compare it to
That's the problem with
their
guests.
favorite guests, clientele.
Every time.
Everybody hates when I correct them on that. Sorry.
It's they're always going to compare it to their favorite somewhere else. They're always going to compare it to something they've had at their favorite restaurant, and it's probably better, but they're used to the way that it's tasting at their favorite
But
place.
does that mean you have to come up with new things that they're not familiar with to make them like that, or
You
just
can't do that.
call
You
it
can't
something?
appease everyone.
Call it something different.
You can't
But-
appease everyone. You can't.
I think most who have common sense understand. Like, we just use the crab cakes, for instance. They're called Maryland crab cakes for a reason.
I don't think they're that great.
Yeah. Thanks a
Now
lot,
we
Nico.
lost all the Maryland people as well.
Hey, Nico, do me a favor. Shut up. Can we edit that out? Can we edit that out?
That's 4% of the U.S.
I love you, Maryland.
That's what it comes down to, is that you can't appease everyone. And if it's getting sent back, or even down to the not people ordering a lot of it, if it's being utilized for something else, if some ingredients are being utilized for something else, it doesn't matter that it's on there anyway.
Now,
It's not taking too much.
do you think that item would go better if it came off the menu and the server came up and sold it as a special?
See, that was going to be my next way.
That's
my
a good
next
one.
segue into it. That's how you find out what really sticks in a place, is specials. You put a special on the menu, you get to be creative, you get to find something different, put it out there. And a lot of times people will order the specials just because it's a special. But if they come back and order again, and they come back and order again, if you have it, that means it's a good item dish. Then you can put it on the menu. Which I've also realized that once it's on the menu, it doesn't sell as much because it's not a special.
Of
Yes.
course.
But at least we know it's good enough to be out there.
To be out there.
And if a lot of specials don't get sold, then don't even bother putting it out there.
Can I tell our audience, all the three of us, I don't know if you guys are gonna know which one I'm talking about. I think Nico might get this one. What is the biggest bomb, I would say, at George's place, which all three of us were in love with? We put it on as a special. It f***ing worked. And then I put it on the fucking menu, and then nobody bought it. Speaking of this topic, Pete's shaking his head.
I know.
Yes, he knows. Don't say anything. And Nico, you back this up to Kingdom Come.
You of all people.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many things.
No, there's
Everyone
one
loved it.
main item.
I'll give you a hint.
Everyone loved
I'll
it.
give you a hint. Fried. I'll give you another hint.
A lot of fried things.
Small.
Oh, the smelts.
Smelts.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves it.
I feel like you were like the Kool-Aid man busting through a wall right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, smelts.
People love the
They're
smelts.
so
Everybody
good.
loved them.
So good.
But it sounds like shit.
And we
Yeah.
put it on the menu, and it wasn't selling as much.
Nothing.
I
And
remember
I'm
that.
like, guys, this
Yeah.
has to work. It's gonna work. You know what the problem is? They're called smelts. It's the worst word ever.
And then you remember
I
what we changed the
it.
name?
I remember what we changed it to.
Yeah.
You guys remember? Do you
Yeah.
remember? what I
Little
changed it?
fish.
Little
Little
fish.
fish.
So I'm here making fun of Pete with the duck dish. Would you like the duck dish, honey? And then I'm
the
saying,
little
hey,
fish
honey, do
dish.
you want the little fish dish?
Dish.
Me.
It was
order
such
it.
a good dish.
How do you
But
say? How do you say the smelts in Greek? What's the word?
Garidas?
No,
No,
this
that's
is
shrimp.
shrimp, right?
No,
Oh, that's
Sadakia.
shrimp. Sadakia.
So no, there's another word. I'll find out.
Oh, there's a bunch of different ones.
Anyways,
Small,
that
yeah.
I'm glad you brought that topic up because I forgot all about the smells.
The
I
smells.
just put them away in my nightmares, and now that you brought it up, I'm actually.
Well, you
man,
know what
they're
another
good.
dish was? It was at a cook-off, and I did a dish.
Did it go on the menu?
The trio beats.
The beets.
Yeah.
Beats. Beats.
Everybody's like, I love the beets.
Yeah.
It won.
Out of 150 people, I had 3 votes for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was delicious. They're like, put it on them. I voted for it. I'm like, no, you didn't. Only 3 people voted. And 18 said they did. No, it's not happening. But there's just a lot of, but if I put a Beats on a special one, I would goat cheese and candied walnuts and strawberry balsamic glaze
I
and
actually
blah,
did
blah,
that
blah.
last year. Yeah.
It's going to sell. But you put a beet dish on the menu, my eyes always like, I like beets, but nah, not tonight. I'm going out. I'm not going to try it. But if it's a special, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to try it. They're doing something new tonight. I'll give it a shot. So
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of things just coming out verbally at a table and explained in a different tone by a server to the table sells it.
Well, look, there's
than
going to be
reading
people
it.
that are always going to want to try something new anyway. There's those people that are like, yeah, let's try that. I've never had it. I'm game. Let's go. It's a
Yeah.
special anyway, whatever. And there's people like, oh, I'm not touching that at all.
Yeah.
So
I think the advice we would give is if you're first starting out in your restaurant, the same way we did, you start off with your regulars and you build a foundation. And I would say we built it off of probably 100 guests. I'll say like 50 couples, how we built George's Place. And we started with that and we really catered to them. And I think once we grew and became busy, right, we still leaned away from that a little bit more to try to cater to some outsiders, but we always kept it consistent. And going back to your original question, Pete, do we want to advise people to do what they believe in from a restaurant perspective, from a restaurateur perspective? Because I know I'm adamant when it comes to things like music. I know what I like. I don't care what you like. I know what I like. You're
true.
walking into my home. This is the music I'm playing. All right. So how about that? You walk into somebody's house. They cooked a beautiful dinner for you, but there's something there. I don't know. Brussels sprouts. I don't like Brussels sprouts. Do you tell that person you don't like Brussels sprouts? Do you?
no, I love Brussels sprouts.
No.
But
You know what I'm saying? With me. But we would advise first time restaurateurs, you can't please everybody. So focus on building a foundation, right? Don't worry so much about, right? Do you worry about what dishes work and what don't work?
you kind of have
can
to.
learn.
You kind of have
You can learn.
to an extent.
Think
but
about when a chef or an owner or a chef owner, whatever you want to call them,
Chefona. Chefona.
you know, they're creating something for a guest of something they like, and they're taking pride into what they're creating. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a sting to some people, some owners, some chefs, that they're making something that they love to death and it's coming out amazing, but nobody likes it and they keep sending it back. Or, you know, you have to, from a business perspective, realize what's good for business, what's going to sell. You can't always listen to the customer. The customer's not always right. And just kind of do you. But when you notice something is consistently not being sold.
I think we just lost all our people from Texas as well.
Oh, I thought that was Kentucky calling. Did you hear that background?
That's actually kind of funny. What was my train of thought on that one?
For everybody that could hear that, that was Noelle's cell phone going off in the background.
We
And
think
she's crying right now of laughter and embarrassment. And because I'm calling her out, if I could turn these cameras and point them at her, can we do that? No, we can't.
no.
All right. So our advice from Restaurant Punk when it comes to, let's call it the dish that doesn't work. Do you listen to your customer? Do you listen to your gut? Or do you make the common sense business decision and get it out of there and bring something else in?
I think you got to mix it all three together, to be honest with you. That's my opinion.
I say start with your gut, but if you start seeing a consensus of,
Yeah.
start the pivot. And if the pivot doesn't work,
You're hypocritical then. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to say
You talking about my brother?
Yeah, I'm talking about your brother.
I know we're brothers,
The duck
but-
was so freaking amazing,
No, it
but
wasn't.
you didn't like it. Was.
no, I took it off the
was.
next year anyway.
Your
was.
palate is special.
It's very special.
I think that duck, everybody that was gluten free or celiac just really enjoyed it.
No,
'Cause it was,
I'm telling you, it was really good.
I don't
Everyone
think
loved it.
so.
Well, do you really have a problem if you have a chicken dish and then you have the duck dish and you sell 100 chickens and 0 duck? Okay, the chicken's working, right? You had 100 customers, they all ordered the chicken. Oh my God, it's like a airplane flight food. Everybody orders the chicken. Do you really have a problem? Number one is, I hope you're busy. Now, do you want to replace that duck for
Another chicken? No, right?
no, do you want to replace it with a shrimp and sell 50 chicken, 50 shrimp? It gives you versatility, right?
Yeah.
And this is where diners take it to the extreme. They're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to create an 18-page menu with every item in the world. That way we could please everybody. Restaurant Punk!
Coming from the diner capital of the U.S.
Kentucky, Maryland, we love you.
Texas,
Straight up.
we love you too.
Peace out, everyone. Do you really want to hurt me?
3.
Sorry. Do you really wanna make me cry?
All right, we're done for the day.
Thank you.
What you got? What do you want?